Hi everybody, it's Cathryn from In the Pink Designs. I hope everybody had a great weekend. Today I am making a project with the new bundle that is Share a Milkshake, and the dies have the same name. It's just dies and stamp set. Alrighty, I made a box that measures 4 by 3 by 1, and I used the Country Gingham DSP along with the new Opaque Adhesive Backed Gems. I used the gorgeous Grape ones. Now, I wanted to do this box with the gorgeous Grape cardstock, but I only had one sheet left, so I did this one with fresh Freesia, but with the new one we're going to do with gorgeous Grape. I have to order some of that. This is my host code. Please put this in if you're going to spend anything under $150 on my website. Thank you so much. I would appreciate that. Alrighty, what we need for this let me show you what's inside. Inside here, I have a little craft packet and 2 Kit Kat bars, but I think I'm going to switch them up for fruit snacks. So I'm going to send these to my daughter, who is a speech teacher down in Florida. So I'm going to make a bunch of these for her, and there's a little craft in it and then a little fruit snacks. I got the crafts from Dollar Tree. They're 10 pieces, so it's 10 craft sets for $1.25, and some of them make a cupcake and some of them make this little heart guy. I don't know if you can see that. The only problem I have with them is to make them look like this in the packaging. They taped the front, so you might have to you might have to find another cello bag to put them in. But they do sell cello bags there too, I think. But I have one. This one's pretty good. It has a little bit of tape on the back, but this is one we're going to use. Alright, so what we need for this project today is some basic white for stamping. We need a piece of gorgeous Grape that is 8 1/4 by 6 3/4. Now, of the Country Gingham DSP, we need 2 pieces that are 2 3/4 by 3 3/4, 2 pieces that are 3/4 by 3 3/4, and 2 pieces that are 3/4 by 2 3/4 for the top. Alrighty. Okay. Oh, also I cut out from, let me show you which one it is, because there's 2 out of for the top here. Out of Early Espresso, I cut out the larger. It's kind of like a hot fudge. It's this one right here. This one's smaller over here. So I cut out the larger one. This one is for one of these little dishes. Alrighty, but this is for the milkshake. Alright, so I cut that out of Early Espresso. Alright, so let me get my Simply Scored. And we're going to start on the 8 1/2 inch side. And we're going to score at 1/2, 3 1/2, 4 1/2, and 7 1/2. Then we're going to change it to the 6 3/4 inch side, and we're going to score at 1, 5, and 6. And that's it. Right, now I'm going to fold and burnish all of the score lines. Alright, so how I have this right now is that the skinniest rectangle is on the left hand side. There is a 3/4 inch strip on the top and a 1 inch strip on the bottom. Alrighty. Okay, so this is what we're going to be doing. Alright. Okay. Alright, so we're going to go onto the left, go to the first score line, cut it to the first score line, and take a wedge up into the skinny rectangle above it. Go to the next score line, cut it to the first score line, next score line, cut it to the first score line. I'm going to get a wedge each side of this square here. Okay, go to the next score line, cut it to the first score line, and wedge each side of the square. Alright, we're going to turn it to the other side. We're going to start on the left-hand side again. We're going to go to the first score line, cut it to the second score line, get rid of this rectangle on the bottom actually, and then wedge each side of the square. Okay, so this is going to be our top flap and the inside flap. So we're going to leave these two alone, go to the next score line, cut it to the second score line, next score line, cut it to the second score line, take off this rectangle on the bottom, and wedge each side of that square. Okay, now we're going to take off all 4 of these pieces here. There's 2 rectangles here and 2 smaller ones on the side. So we're going to cut both of them off. All of them, all 4 of them. Okay, and then the last thing we're going to do is the skinny rectangle here. We're just going to wedge up there. Alrighty, now we need to get a corner rounder, and we're going to round the corners of this top piece here. This is a 1-inch corner rounder, but you can put whatever size you have. Alrighty. Okay, and this is what your cardstock should look like after you're done scoring it and cutting it. Alright, now we're going to get some tear and tape, and we're going to put it on what's left of the skinny rectangle next to the score line. I'm going to use my take your pick tool to get the backing off. And then I'm going to flip the whole thing over, flip over the side with the tape, and flip the other side over to meet it. Okay, so now this is the back of our box. I'm just going to put this in there just for now. Okay, so this is our back. Yeah, that's our back. I'm going to put the sides in and the back, and then I'm going to put a little bit of liquid glue on the back of this front flap here. You can use tear and tape for that too, if you want to. I wanted to mention, let me get this off of here. This I bought at Dollar Tree. It's supposed to be a vinyl weeding scrap collector, but I just put my glue in there and it stays pretty nicely. It will kind of stick on paper, but it mostly sticks on the mats really well, or any tabletop that's smooth. I have the old Martha Stewart desks, but I put like a vinyl wood looking, it's actually linoleum flooring that I just covered them with. So it won't stick to that because it's bumpy, but anything that is nice and smooth, it will stick to nicely. I do have this one, but it's kind of ugly. Now I know they make them in pink and different pretty colors, but this cost me $10 on Amazon years ago. But this one is $1.25. So if you're interested, I figured I'd tell you. Okay, now we have our box all made. I'm just going to open this up now and make sure that this bottom piece stuck. All right, now we're going to put our DSP on. Okay, here we go. All right, so the 2 pieces that are 2 3/4 by 3 3/4 are on the front and the back, and 2 pieces that are 3/4 by 3 1/4 on the long sides, and the 2 short sides, which are 3/4 by 2 3/4 on the short ones. All right, and I'm going to attach them all with liquid glue. Okay, now I'm just going to cut a little hole, like a partial circle in the back, so that when we close this, it's much easier to grab, to open. Alrighty. Okay, and any size will do, except anything really, really big, but any small. This one is 1 1/8, but anything around there would be fine. All right, so let's just let this dry a minute, and we're going to do our stamping. All right, I'm using a bunch of inks: Fresh Freesia, Highland Heather, Polished Pink, and Sweet Sorbet. All All right, so let's start with the actual glass bottom of the milkshake. And I'm going to do the dark part first, and that would be Highland Heather. And, oops, before I forget, I want to use my mat because this is photopolymer, and they're a little bit solid, but I didn't feel the need to use my Stamparatus this time. The mat was just fine. Okay, and then for the background of it, I used fresh Freesia. Okay, and then we needed polished pink for this part up here, but I stamped that off once, so I'm going to use some scrap and my polished pink. And then this piece here. Let me show you this. Okay, I did this one first in Highland Heather, and then this one in Fresh Freesia. Now we're going to do this one stamped off in polished pink. If you want it to be white like whipped cream, you could just cut it out white, I guess. So I'm going to use my polished pink. I'm going to stamp it off once, and then I'm just going to stamp it. I wanted it nice and light. I didn't want anything that was too dark. Okay, but if you like that better, you can use that too. All right, and then we need our straw. Again, is Highland Heather. And I only use the stripe part because when you cut it out, it kind of looks fine. You could do the Fresh Freesia behind it and the Highland Heather on top if you want, but I'm just going to do one part is good for me. All right, and then our cherry is sweet sorbet. Okay, and then we'll use the Share a Milkshake dies to cut them all out, which I already have done. So there's our milkshake, our whipped cream, straw, cherry, and we already cut out the hot fudge on the top. Alrighty, so I'll use these for the rest of them I'm going to make. Alright, now we need our silicone mat. Alright, I forgot to tell you in the beginning that I cut this piece out of Gorgeous Grape. That's for the background there. And you don't even need a tool to get these out. They come out really quite easily. Just when you kind of push your finger in a little bit. Okay, so we need that for later. I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you about that one. Okay, so we need the bottom of our glass here, and I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right up here along the top, and I'm going to take the polished pink piece and I'm going to put it down low and then pull it up, and that helps me keep the glue from squeezing out the bottom. There we go. And there's a little hole right here for you to either fit the spoon or the straw. We're going to do the straw. All right, so I'm going to take the straw and I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the bottom of the front. I'm just going to take the straw and stick it in that opening. Only a little bit. And we want it to come off to the side. There we go. All right. And then we're going to put our hot fudge on top. Just about right there. And then our cherry right on top of the hot fudge. And I'm trying to concentrate the glue at the bottom of these pieces so that, because we don't really need glue on the back of the top parts. Okay, and there's our heart fudge sundae. All right, so let me just move this over a little. Yeah, it's got some glue on the back still, so we're just going to move that there. Okay, and then this is our piece that we're going to put under our sundae, our milkshake. So we're going to flip it over. I'm going to put a little bit of glue right here. And I'm going to use a sponge. This was one of our sponges that were retired, but you can use any craft sponge or a regular sponge if you want to cut a piece off. I'm just going to dab the glue all over it. All right, try not to bend it like that. And then I'm just going to put this a little bit toward the bottom right here. You can measure it at first and then put a little mark with your pencil where you want to put it. Okay, and just gently pat those down. All right, then we're going to put our milkshake on with dimensionals. I'm just going to wipe this off just so there's not a lot of stuff there, and I'll wipe it off with a baby wipe later. All right, and then for putting on this, what I want to do is flip it over. And for this, I'm going to cut. As you can see, I used my old cardstock that I made a mistake or I didn't use. Flip it over and use it again. All right, I'm just going to get a thin line here to go on my straw. So I'm just going to cut an edge. And I'm going to put that right on the back of the straw. It doesn't matter if it's a little longer, it's fine. And then I'm going to put one up by the cherry, one in the middle, and one towards the bottom there. You could also cut another little piece and put it on there if you want. Maybe I will. And you could probably move these up here a little bit. All right, let's just take them off. And then I'm just going to center my milkshake in the middle. Okay, now let's get our basic white for our sentiment, and I'm going to use Sweet Sorbet for Be My Valentine. Okay, and then we're just going to cut them apart. Now the Y comes down a little, so you have to do a little bit of just swoop down and then above the T. But I thought together it was just a little too much, so I'm going to just cut it by hand. And just like I'm going to be cutting it apart, but then for the Y, I have to go down a little bit. And then just cut it straight on the sides. And that's Be My. And then Valentine. Oops. Okay, now we're going to put this here and right here. So we need to put, on the ends, we need to put some mini dimensionals. There they are. I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool. And I'm just going to put, I'll probably put 2 on the Valentine, and then just 1 on the end of the Be Mine. All right. And then I'm just going to put a dab of glue on the end, not all the way to the end so that it doesn't stick out, squeeze out. All right, so I'll start with Be My, and I'll put that right here. And then Valentine. Oops, I want it a little farther down. Okay, Be My Valentine. I love it. I think I do like it with the darker purple there. Okay, now I'm gonna make a bow with some fresh Freesia open weave ribbon. Okay, and then just decide which side you like. And we're gonna put it, and I'm gonna just slip that underneath the cherry because I don't want it to cover the pretty cherry up. All right, so I'm gonna get glue dots, and I'm just gonna put one on the knot and then a dab of glue on either side of the glue dot. Just so that if it gets warmed up a little bit, sometimes the glue dots will let go. But if we have a little extra glue next to it, it does. I haven't found any of my bows to fall off after that. Oops. All right. Just gonna put it right there and stick it. And actually, we don't even have to do that. Just a little bit. Okay. And for the final touch, I'm gonna use the Opaque Adhesive Backed Gems, and I'm gonna use the Gorgeous Grape ones. I'm going to put a little one there, medium one down over here, and no, that's another medium, and a large one over there, and that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. I think that it's really, really cute. If you have any questions, my email is below, along with the link to my blog that has all of the measurements, the link to my shop. If you would like to purchase any Stampin' Up! Products, please put that code in for anything under $150, and I'll send a little bit of something from the Stampin' Rewards I put together. Alrighty, please subscribe and hit the like button, and I will see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.